All right, this is part two. Unfortunately, my phone died when I was finishing up part one, and I was talking in the last part. You hear me just gonna start talking about the program perversion they do. It's just so disgusting for me because I do experience a lot of the same thing as one of the last targeted individual testimony talked about. I experienced the same things in regard of the perversion and the stimulations and the manipulation of the mind and the way they try to degrade you. um you hear this bottom feeders calling me pervert while they in the program that is forcing people to have stimulations, just like this woman said, and they try to think that they are the normal people, right? They are the non-pervert, but they are forcing you to have this disgusting stimulation towards kids, like that woman said, even dogs. This is, when I was listening to that in the last part, you see me just kind of listening. My eyes were moving all around. They were trying to come up with the narrative they've created. They have the ability to make you imagine things they want you to believe. To create a narration that is just based on what they want you to imagine. They're like, "Oh, this person was underage. Oh, this person like," and this is purely them wanting that to be true. Like I said, if somebody can be imagined to be underage, they will make you imagine that, and you start like, "Oh, really?" It's not real. That's because they have the ability to make you imagine somebody and think that that makes sense. They're like, oh, this person, she's 15 years old. She's like, and this is what they just imagine when it said nine, like you understand, like they will make you imagine the age they want you, and your brain will take it as if they give you the information they want you to have, and it's gonna be that information. An adult, and they talk usually it's like young adults, and that means I was myself also like in my younger 20s or in my mid 20s, and then try to make me imagine, so can you imagine a 20-year-old making that 20-year-old make that person imagine them as underage? This, if you've seen 20-year-old, they're not, like they don't look that much different from a teenager, right? So you can really you can really make that imagination happen, especially in this case where it's just smaller size, so they can make me imagine that there's nothing real behind it but just them making me imagine this, because what they do is they make you have this reaction, these stimulations, and they want to say, no, we proved it. You see that person, you see that, like they try to come up with ways to make you accept these things anyways, anything they can, because the truth is they have this routine of manipulating you to be stimulated toward kids of all ages, from babies to teenage kids. They can do that all the time. And so what they're trying to do is like, no, we proved that this is just you. Listen, remember, they're going to. I keep saying that this person I follow on Snapchat, and they're like, oh, you see, you follow her. She was not 18 yet, but she looked older than her age. But never talked to this person, never even interacted with that person, but definitely looked like she was closer to my age. And then the rest is like, oh, but this person, maybe she could be like, they try to find ways to make you accept these things. Oh, this, how she, like, anybody they can try to make you believe that something else, they'll do it. I mean, there's people who are older than me that they try to make me imagine them to be underage, just because like they can make you imagine whatever. And so that's that. So you gotta understand, they do this pedophilia type of torment where they force you to be stimulated toward kids, and then they try to go into to things that, and try to manipulate your memory, and create narrative in memories that are not true, force you to make you believe these things, because if there's no moment where there's like concrete confirmation, they can do anything. They can make you imagine anything, and that's the things they've been doing. But the reality is they make you stimulations. Like this woman, this is a woman, um married with kids, 4 kids, by the way. Then she started getting targeted, And she also mentioned something, and if you listen to the last part, she says the neighbors, right, that moved next to her, which are just the operators contracted by the government, that are supposed to torment her. They're supposed to appear to be this group of goodness, or good doers, I would say. And then they started creating this. That's when they started working on like creating these program perversions. We're talking her testimonies in 2007, right? And so these people start making her feel certain ways towards things to disturb her. So she, her dogs, just they start stimulating her toward her dogs. Then it became toward kids, people, even homosexuals. She said young people, kids, and young homosexual. Now you understand what's the most degrading here? It's not the homosexual part. It's the sorry, it's the it's the doing this toward children. Actually, they try to mess with me. So it's the same kind of facade they try to apply with me. Initially they were trying to really be like the 2023 version of that, like the progressive kind of people, feminist like group of people. But I figured that early on this is just the facade. These people doing this to me will be doing it to people more vulnerable than me, including women and children. And it doesn't take much in regard of I'm not talking about the hardest human beings, right? This is not the people that in person who would be able to do any of that. Or even if I was tied up, this some of them would not even come near me, but this gives them the ability to do the horrible things they can do. But because they do this remotely, because this technology can easily dehumanize somebody due to the fact that this is a global thing. You're not doing this alone. It's a group thing. So this is why they're capable of torturing a woman like that with kids. And just think, oh, that's normal. It's normal because everybody else is involved. The whole neighborhood is involved. Like the government is involved. They have the sense of okay, for me, a lot of them are not like the most like independent thinker, right? There's some of them, but they are just opportunists, of course. But some of them are just like that's what they like to use childlike people that they the validation that they're doing a good job. They're part of this group. This is the government, so it's the good people, right? It's the government. We know the government won't do bad things. It's legal because the government is involved. Like this is the kind of state of mind I hear people's you know have here. Or some say, like no, because we're all doing it, it's okay. Oh, we're all like very progressive. Look at us, we do things. We work on charity work. We're doing this. Like it's just so sad. This is what this intelligence community have been doing. Like she mentioned, she mentioned the CIA, the FBI, the DOD, Homeland Security, DOJ. She literally described what's happening to me, where the neighborhood is all involved in it, the community, but she lived in that community for a while. So you understand how crazy it is. Me, I just moved to a community not too long ago. I just moved. I've been moving around to different neighborhood. This is a woman who raised her children in a community, in a neighborhood, and now they're all doing these things to her, and they're doing this pedophilia type of tormenting, and they use these teenage people to kind of agitate her. These things haven't changed. It's 2023. They use the same tactics. So the reason why I want to listen to this is because sometimes I speak about what's happening to me, and the reason why I'm strong is, like I said, it's just because of testimony I've heard, and that's why I make my that's why I give my testimonials, because this woman who testify and says she's not only getting this disturbing manipulation of her libido, but also she literally says used to get repeatedly raped by these people. The initial things was raping using this technology, which can do so much repeatedly, and then they moved on the psychological warfare, the psychological manipulation of stimulating her, giving her sexual stimulations whenever she's comfortable, to make her feel uncomfortable, or to force her to be stimulated toward children. They're nasty. And the dream manipulation, they say, the programming, which is what I experience every day. While asleep, when you dream, they create those dreams to train your brain, to condition your brain, to program your brain to become this. So the way I'm looking at my life right now, as is, wherever it's gonna end, is it's my duty to do my part. If it's one person that sees this and be, you know what, I'm not alone in this. This has been happening for years. I shouldn't take my life. I shouldn't kill myself, because why would I kill myself when all these people have gone through it. Some of them even more vulnerable than me. I should, like, I should be strong, and regardless of how it ends, be strong, right? Because me, I'm a, I'm although I'm weak in so many ways now, and I'm alone. I don't have my family has been involved in this now. I am at least less vulnerable than some of these people, right? So if this woman can go through this whole horribleness with kids, 4 kids, by herself, me with less responsibility, less vulnerability, I should be strong enough to deal with it till the end. No, and there was a time when it was tough to think about that like that, because they were really telling me, go to the next world, and this world is not this, right? So basically, they were telling me to kill myself, and I was weak enough to kind of, you know, but after listening to the strong to this women, this strong women, talking about the horrible things they deal with, describing what they going through, which is exactly what I was going through, and listening to this trash try to portray themselves as something else. It gave me strength. It's like, if these women having to deal with this 24/7 have the ability to stay strong, and having to do and go through all these things, then who am I? I can try to be strong too, like they are strong. So to all my target individual, this is what my videos are for. And I know things are gonna be bad for me. I'm telling you, I know. But I rather die this way than having to live the way these people live. And of course, never in my life want to be in the circumstances that I'm in. Of course, I don't want that. It's horrible. Like they say, it's a nightmare, right? But the life these people live, as normalized as they made this thing be, is coming at a point. Yesterday I was listening to this because they're prepping some kind of frame of some sort. And I hear these people outside. She's like, "I'm at peace," and she sounds like a child. Like she tries to. I don't know. They sound very young. I don't know how young they actually are, because I'm just listening to the voice. But listening to the voice, it sounds like young to be a child, and like a as young as being a child, right? And she's like, "I'm at peace," and I'm listening to this. People's like, "Dude, I don't care if you're at peace. Really, it doesn't like, I'm not trying to make them feel at peace, but I just don't want them to feel like leave the fantasy they've created, the narration they've created with me. When these people do this to me, they're gonna see themselves for what they're part of. Now, if you're at peace with that, that's okay. It's all you. I don't care about that. I'm not trying to make you lose sleep at all. I don't care about that. I don't. I see them truly for the purpose that they are. I understand they're just the bottom feeders. And it's funny, every time I say bottom feeders, they say they keep saying, uh, I'm a bottom, because they talk about how I'm gonna be framed, and once I'm being framed, but things are gonna happen to me. But they are truly bottom feeders, and you're just one of many in this system that that's meant to agitate me and do these horrible things. You're just one of many nasty people involved in this, and so I see you as that. I don't see you as like the like the reason why this is happening to me. Once you're in this program, everything can happen to you, and it's easily done to you because it's done remotely. So when I hear these people, it's like, we just blew your this organ, we did this to your organ, we did this to this part of your body, and that, um you understand that, well, it's like what you're doing to me, a child can be doing this to me. As I'm saying that, they try to create some disturbing thoughts, but a child can do what they do. because this is how sophisticated this weapon is. So I see that as that like, so yes, you're doing horrible things to me. It's gonna cause my life is probably breaking. Is, I'm probably dying because of that. But you are just a you're just like a tool. Like this is like a child can do what you're doing to me. It's not, you're not at the on the battleground and shooting in some. You're like it's like you're sitting down. You're sitting in your nice comfortable sweatpants and drinking your nice tea, or staying hydrated and doing this thing to me. I'm saying, like, that's why I see you for what you guys are. You truly are weak people, but I understand I'm in a program where anything can happen to me, and it can happen to me very easily and very comfortably, meaning that somebody can do that doing just relaxing and do that, and it's that, it's almost like a video games, right? It's just things done remotely. So to all my target individual, uh regardless of what they're trying to bring up, what they're trying to manipulate you to think, remember what they do. These testimonies are just a few women that talks about the horrible things they go through, which what they went through, the rapes, the mental torture, and all of the things they have to go through. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. You are not alone, in the sense that you're not the only one going through these painful things, this nightmare. I understand people much more vulnerable. And so when these people are, is because they like to also try to play like protectors, avengers. Listen to these things. Listen to those horrible stories. And then just remember these people are talking to you. This woman literally says she will get repeatedly raped using this technology, as in it was part of her routine. These people are this disturbing trash. So stay strong, and regardless of what's going to happen, understand that you're on the right side of things. You're dignified. Thank you.